Namaskar friends. In CA Final May 24 exam, after your FR paper is over, you will get around 20 to 22 hours for AFM paper. Now friends, in this video we will discuss what should be your strategy during these last hours for minimum exemption. And if you are well prepared, you can even score 90 plus marks, friends. So here I have divided the strategy into four parts. Friends, in part 1, you will cover MCQs. If you look at the two MTPs of May 24 exam, then it appears that the case scenarios will be relatively easy. So students, we expect the same in the exam also. So these MCQs will be quite easy and scoring for you, and it will fetch you 30 marks, and you will be able to complete that in a short time. So it will boost your confidence as well. Then friends, in part 2, you should cover theory questions. That will be quite scoring. We expect 16 marks of theory questions. And in theory questions, always remember, you have to basically cover all ICI points. Then the remaining matter you can write in your own words. So you will get full marks, friends. And in which topics you should focus. So you cover first of all these four chapters: securitization, startup finance, then financial policy and corporate strategy, and then value at risk portion. Then also, friends, focus on the amendment portion, that is the topics added as compared to old SFM. Friends, and also keep in mind, focus on the frequently repeating questions, friends. So this is theory. Then in part 3, friends, now you have to see, in part 3, we will focus on practical questions. What is the total here? 46 marks we have already prepared for. Now see, as such, for exemption, you need only 14 marks. But what I believe is that from the remaining portion, you will definitely get minimum 4 practical questions which are quite easy and which will fetch you 30 or more marks. So here you will be preparing for basically minimum 76 marks, and here also we are leaving a margin of around 16 marks. So friends, here what I will do is that I will arrange the chapters here from easy to difficult order. The easier chapters will be in the beginning first, and there also inside the chapter also, friends, I will briefly show you the easy topics, okay, where the sums are easy. So see, never friends, don't follow this approach that you complete the entire chapter then you take the next chapter, and this approach is not proper, friends. What you should do is that in each particular chapter, uh, cover the portions which are easy first, and thereafter you cover the entire syllabus. And then take the, if you get time, then take the difficult portions of all the chapters towards the end, provided you get time. So going this way, friends, a minimum 4 easy questions you will definitely get. Now easy questions you will find from these topics. Say in value at risk, the easiest and shortest. So here see the calculation of value at risk, VAR calculation, and the reverse calculation, the typical sums recently seen in past exams. So this you cover. Then friends, in mergers and acquisitions, this chapter is also almost based on common sense. Even through common sense you can solve sums. So sums on calculation of EPS and market price per share pre-merger and post-merger, and then comparison, then calculation of exchange ratio, then gain to equity shareholders of acquiring company and acquired company. So all that. Then the maximum exchange ratio and minimum exchange ratio. These sums, friends, these are quite easy. Then friends, in the mutual funds chapter, the net asset value calculation, then holding period return calculation, then effective yield or rate of return. Do you remember the three mutual fund schemes are there? Then you have to calculate the effective yield. So these sums are also quite easy. Then in same types of sums, friends, reverse calculation, that effective yield is given and you have to calculate the number of units or the holding period and so on. So these reverse calculation sums are also quite easy, that you must prepare. Then hedge fund fee calculation, one sum was there in the MTP second series. So this type of sum also you cover, friends. Then the sums on ratios, a Sharpe ratio, Trenor ratio, then Jensen's alpha, and these sums are also quite easy. Then friends, equity valuation and business valuation chapter, you must prepare together. They are interrelated. So friends, basically this chapter, bonds and advanced capital budgeting, even certain sums in mergers and acquisitions, they are simply capital budgeting fundas applied in different settings. So they are already known to you and quite easy. Friends, here dividend discount model with linear decay, with or without linear decay, that you know that the growth rate declines in a linear fashion. So these sums are quite easy. You have to calculate the value of an equity shares. Just you have to discount the dividends and expected share price with required rate of return. So this is quite easy. Then do you remember the typical sums on income statement and ratio? So these sums are also quite easy. Then friends, free cash flow to firm model, that we value the business or we value the strategy using FCFF model. This is simply capital budgeting. Uh, just you have to, from CFAT you have to two more steps and you get free cash flow to firms. You already know this. These sums are quite easy. Then economic value added, you calculating weighted average cost of capital, one sum was there in the MTP, that you remember. So these are sums are quite easy. Then do you remember the right shares related sums? The simple, you have to just remember the formula. And then friends, relative valuation, that using the price earnings ratio or price to book value ratio and similar other relative valuation formulas to calculate the values of equity share. So these sums are quite easy. And friends, in all this, you always remember that you don't have to go through the entire solution. Neither you have to do the solution. You just be clear in your mind that how the sum is solved, the technique basically, and the concept basically, funda basically, that's enough. And you can be quite quick here. Then friends, in bonds valuation chapter, these top sums on these topics are quite easy. Valuation first of all. Then here you have to simply discount the interest and principal, interest and the repayment proceeds with the required rate of return. So you get the value of the bond. Then calculation of YTM. YTM is basically IRR of the bond, friends. So here you can use either the IRR formula or that fixed formula to calculate the YTM. Then friends, calculation of duration and modified duration. These sums are also quite easy. A fixed procedure is followed. Then friends, the sums relating to optionally convertible bonds. Here you know certain values, some 6 to 7 values you have to calculate. Fixed formulas are there. And if you have conceptually understood, then you just apply the concept and you will be able to solve, friends. Then bond refunding sums. These are basically capital budgeting sums. You have to calculate NPV. So these are also quite easy. Then friends, in advanced capital budgeting, these topics are very easy. Mean and standard deviation of cash flows and NPV. Then path approach. Then friend, Hillier model. In Hillier model, you know, we calculate the mean and standard deviation of NPV from mean and standard deviation of cash flows. So that is very easy. Risk adjusted discount rate, it is even easier than CA Inter FM. Then sensitivity analysis, here you have to calculate NPVs. And then friends, here if you are not comfortable with the shortcut, don't worry. You can calculate the detailed NPV. That will also not take much time. Then certainty equivalents related sums and inflation adjustment sums, they are just childlike sums, very easy sums, friends. Then in derivatives also, these topics are extremely easy. Futures price calculation, then arbitrage, calculating arbitrage profit. Then in options also, calculating payoff and profit from the given data. That is also very easy. Then Blake and Scholes model may be difficult for you, friends, so you leave it for end time preparation. But in binomial model, friends, calculating the expected value of the option on maturity, then applying risk neutral approach and delta hedging approach, these sums are quite repeating and they are quite easy. So you cover all these topics, friends. Then in portfolio management also, two topics are quite easy. Risk and return of a portfolio, here according to Markowitz model, and then CAPM formula and security market line. So here friends, you calculate the expected return on the equity shares, and then we decide whether the share is overvalued or undervalued and all that. So required return. So that is also quite easy, friends. Then these topics, the sums on these topics may be difficult, so you may prepare them towards the end. The single index model, in which we calculate the systematic risk and unsystematic risk of a security in shares or portfolio, so that you may postpone for end time preparation. Then beta management related sums. See here, whatever I have written in dark color, they may be difficult topics for some students, so they can prepare them towards the end. Then friend, forex. In forex also, certain topics are quite easy. Say rate calculation sums, then interest rate parity and covered interest arbitrage, then purchasing power parity, then leading and lagging. That is in international working capital management, where the exporter pays late and the consequences. Then the netting. One sum on netting was there in the MTP. So that type of sum. It's quite commonsensical. Then international capital budgeting, it is just capital budgeting. Just you have to add the funda of IRP or PPP, and then you will be able to solve. Then friend, issue of GDRs, in the international financing, issue of GDRs, typical sum, wherein we calculate the cost of equity. So these sums are also, friends, quite easy. You cover. Then friend, the typical international investing sum, which has been recently asked which used to be asked in SFM paper. So that is also quite commonsensically you can solve that. Then friend, forward market cover versus no cover, these types of sums, and money market cover, this money market hedging. So these two types of sums are also, friends, quite easy, so that also you can cover. Now these two topics, friends, are slightly difficult, so you can postpone them to for end time preparation. There is hedging with currency futures and options, and fate of forward contract. Do you remember early delivery, late delivery, and so on, late cancellation? Then friend, the last chapter will be interest rate risk management. Even in this chapter, the sums on three topics are quite easy: the FRA settlement, forward rate agreement, then overnight index swaps, and then the interest calculation on swaps. So these sums are quite easy, friends, and interest calculation is just normal interest calculation, so that is quite easy. The swap design and restructuring, this uh, sums, they may be difficult, so you can postpone them for end time preparation if you get time. Then in part 4, friends, you cover ambiguous sums. You will have marked some 30 to 35 ambiguous sums. In ambiguous sums, friends, you have to go as per ICI, and you must solve the problem in ICI's style. So you just remind yourself on the last day how these sums are solved. So this way, friends, if you follow these 4 parts, you will definitely get exemption or even more. And here we have left a margin also. If you prepare this way, you will get minimum 76 marks. And friends, this order is just recommendatory. The students can change this order because each student has his own or own unique profile. So if you find more confidence in some chapters, then you can prepare those chapters earlier. And friends, always remember, the last hour study must be personalized. It has to be prepared according to your requirements and your needs. So always keep this point in mind, and always take good amount of sleep. Be integrated and composed, friends, and be in yourself. So may God always bless you, and best of luck and best wishes from me and Aditya sir. Thank you very much, friends.